Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat sejahtera. Kita bertemu lagi dalam kelas mengaji tulis tesis dalam bahagian ataupun dalam siri yang kedua dalam topik literatur, kajian literatur. Kita dah sampai ke siri 13. Okey, untuk siri yang ke-13, 14 dan 15 pacik sekali kan dalam satu video. Okey. Walaupun dalam grup WhatsApp pakcik bagi satu persatu, iaitu bagi 13, bagi 14 dan 15 untuk slide PowerPoint. Tapi untuk kita punya video ni keseluruhan ada 17 tesis yang kita akan tengok perenggan terbaik pilihan dalam penulisan literature review. So kita akan melihat kepada hampir 17 tesis. Okay, kita go through satu persatu sampai 17 lah, meliputi siri ke-13, 14 dan 15. Okey, kita akan bedah dan bincang perenggan pilihan dalam menulis kajian literatur. Okey, ini yang pertama, tajuk penyelidikan tesis yang pertama. Okey, dari Duratul Ain Abdul Razak. Learning to lead and strategic decision making in share leadership organization. Challenge and prospect for startup SME in Malaysia. Okay, tesis 2019. Jadi di sini ada satu figure yang pakcik nak share lah dari segi idea dia. So daripada gambar rajah ni, figure tu nama ni adalah Greener Grow Models. So dekat gambar rajah tu dia pecah kepada, dibahagikan kepada 5 bahagian atau 6 bahagian ataupun 6 phase. Dia ada grow through creativity, grow through direction, grow through delegation, grow through coordination, grow through collaboration dan grow through alliance. So dia ada leadership, crisis, autonomy, control, red tape dengan grow crisis. So ini adalah the Greener curve model. Okay, bawah tu there are several points that can be debate for this grow. Okay, ada several points that can be debate for this grow model. First, the assumption that this business grow model is applicable to all type of business can be debates. Overall, the Greener model is more suitable for large and matured organization. The model indicate that organization experience relatively stable growth. Okay, jadi dia refer model ni tapi kajian dia mostly on startup SME. Jadi okay, sedikit sebanyak, that's why dia ada mention beberapa kajian juga beberapa didebatkan bahawa kesesuaian ni juga perlu dilihat walaupun dalam konteks small, tapi yang ni lebih more sesuai untuk large organisation. Okay, dia ada gambar rajah dari penerangan ke bawah. Jadi kita boleh ambil idea kat sini. Ini gambar rajah ni pun menarik juga. Jadi walaupun minggu sebelum ni ada yang pakcik tunjukkan gambar rajah, jadi yang ni gambar rajah. So akan ada banyak nanti dekat literature review especially kita akan bincang struktur gambar rajah. Okay, kita pergi tesis yang kedua. So daripada pre-need kids, student lead assessment in the primary classroom, facilitating student ownership and motivation toward assessment. Okay, ini EDD Education Doctorate. Okay, satu perenggan dia, dia mention topik bawah curriculum control and stakeholders influence. Okay, ingin pakcik ulangkan, kita dah sampai stage mencari perenggan yang bersesuaian nak tulis ataupun nak belajar dalam literature review. Jadi dekat perenggan ni dimulakan as discussed above. Jadi kita boleh gunakan perkataan ini selain daripada perkataan hence, additional, however, therefore ataupun according. So kita boleh gunakan as discussed above. Jadi maksudnya perbincangan ni lanjutan ataupun selari dengan sebelumnya. There are many influence that shape assessment and education including OECD and PISA. Okay, dan kemudian di bawah dia cite. Dia mulakan satu ayat yang awal, dia tu highlight many influence that shape assessment education including OECD and PISA. Sebab tu dia kata discuss above, sebab dia tak ada buat citation kat sini. Okay, then baru dia letak citation daripada Klinowski dengan West-Smith. In their empirical examination of international comparative tests in Australia, found that when standardized examination were introduced, teaching to the test and narrow curriculum result. This include teacher failure to include topics that were considered of interest to the student and diminishing capacity to utilize and enhance high order thinking skill. Okay. Ada perkara yang menarik dalam ayat ni. Okay, ayat ni dia start pada this include teacher failure to include topic. Okay. Dia tengok situasi sebab di sini dia dia highlight mungkin berdasarkan kajian Klonowski dengan Will Smith tadi. Tapi kalau kita baca kat sini dia cakap teacher failure. So failure tu kita jangan simply guna perkataan failure kan. Tapi kalau dalam kajian lepas memang finding ni kata failure, baru kita boleh kata failure. Sebab nanti kita overclaim mengatakan failure. So kat sini failure to include topic. Okay. Dan dia sambung, it further emerged as being a tool for control because allow to parent to select school based upon openly published test result. Okay, kat sini ada cadangan dan dia bagi juga justifikasi lah kenapa being a tool for control. Okay. So sambung, one of the most important enablers of internationalization refer is the use of the network. Adapting maksudnya adapting ni ubah suai lah, dia ada pengubah suaian. Adapting from work by Leonardo, which describe the role of buyer intermediaries as external stimuli to export. Kemudian tambah lagi satu author, dia stimuli to export, Francioni et al. Propose the role of network support the presence of firm in the export market and provide a more comprehensive view of relevant network actors. This include, kita buat penerangan this include buyer, supplier, intermediaries, consultant, trade associations, government agency, and those who have formal multilateral cooperation with a firm such as export consortia and R&D projects. Each network partner has certain resources, skill and knowledge with a contribute to the development of firm export behavior. Okay, kat sini dia ada banyak citation dekat perenggan ni. So perenggan ni maksudnya penuh dengan facts. Start daripada Raden tadi, lepas tu Leonardo, lepas tu Francioni, kemudian last kali Francioni jugalah. So kat kajian ni mungkin dia nak zoom mostly sesuai kajian ni the example from Francioni lah. So this is some of the idea macam gini kita nak kaitkan topik kita dengan beberapa citation yang bersesuaian dalam konteks. Tajuk yang ketiga daripada Muhammad Anwar, Nur Izzati Muhammad Anwar, inward and outward internalization in Malaysia small and medium and a learning approach. Okay, so ini yang tadi yang ketiga tadi, kita pergi yang keempat. Okay, yang keempat, engage divided society in the nation building process, the case of government communication in Malaysia. Okay, ni by Diana. Okay, so the start ayat kita pun biasa guna perkataan ni. Okay, in the recent year, okay, kita boleh guna tapi tak boleh guna banyak kali lah so kebanyakan perenggan kita. So yang ni saya ambil satu contoh, satu perenggan ni bawah topik dia ICT as communication tool. In the recent year, Malaysia has witnessed a drastic change in nation communication landscape. This change can be seen as a welcoming step to the possibility of fostering a more, dia ada buka kata matured democratic society practicing from the matured consensual community-oriented Malaysia democracy that can be model for many developing country. Okay, daripada matured sampai country panjang di bawah tutup kata. Estate in a country vision 2020 aspirations. This section therefore, ni yang kita nak kena ambil idea ni. This section therefore serve as the backgrounder to the advancement of media and communication and how and why, nampak tak digunakan kata bawah tu, and how and why internet platform like social media rose prominent in Malaysia as well as receive attention for the government as of late. Okay, jadi dia menyatakan sesuatu perkara. Okay, yang ni maklumat berdasarkan wawasan 2020 punya aspiration. So that dia counted ataupun dia bagi argument bahawa so dia beritahu lah. So this part of why kita perlu kaitkan dengan media dengan communication, dia mention pasal how and why tu. Okay, so ayat yang bawah tu menarik sebenarnya. Okay, lain-lain tu kita boleh ambil juga idea. This is yang kelima. daripada Zairul Uzair ni, a Business Continuity Management Framework for Disaster Resilient SME in Malaysia. So dia kata resilience, ayat ni kita ambil satu perenggan yang menarik. Resilience can be viewed from 3 different perspective. Digunakan, okay, bila kata 3 different perspective, dia buat titik 2 begini. Jadi kita boleh belajar ni kalau nak gunakan macam ni. So dia kata first, the ability of reinstate the normal condition before disaster. Buka lagi. Yang tadi biasa titik 2 begini, titik-titik ni titik koma. Okay. Second, tadi first ni second. Second, the time taken to recover for disaster. And third, ability to adapt to change brought by disaster. So ada beberapa citation. However, Pakcik memang minat however nanti mungkin ada satu lagi slot nanti kelas kita ni level 2 nanti mungkin Pakcik nak bincang ayat however je. However, this view were established by authors study community resilience. In other type of resilience, there are other perspective. There are other perspective, for example, Robertson and Cooper emphasize personal resilience. Okay, beberapa scholar discuss resilience in healthcare, while Rose highlight the importance of economic resilience. So kat sini nak cerita pasal resilience tu boleh dilihat beberapa perspektif lah. Okay, so kat sini ada penerangan dia. Dan juga ada beberapa citation lah, dia start dengan first, kemudian secondly, kemudian dia counter. However, perlu dilihat juga view tu dalam perspektif ekonomi maupun dalam healthcare. Okay, tesis yang ke-6, an empirical examination into the social reporting practices of the Islamic Bank in Malaysia and Bahrain. Okay, dalam perenggan ni, dia start overall in the literature, dia banyak koma ni kalau tengok ni, overall in the literature, social accounting research in the Islamic circle, particularly in the Islamic Bank, can be divided into 3 main aspect. So ini boleh juga belajar, Pakcik pun tak apa nak expert yang bahagian ni, tapi in reality-nya dia pun dah grad, so boleh penulisan macam ni, kita ada berapa koma tak, overall, in the literature review, the social accounting research in the Islamic circle, particularly in Islamic Bank, Jadi ada 4 koma sebelum jumpa satu titik, padahal tak sampai 2 line penuh pun, 1 line setengah je. Okay, dia kata ada 3 tadi. Firstly, there is a conceptual, theoretical and philosophical understanding of Islamic accounting. Kita ada berapa scholar. Kemudian, secondly, there is technicality of accounting process where the research argue that Islamic social reporting should have certain information. Okay, ini yang Pakcik kata. Bila dia dah jelaskan firstly, secondly, so dia highlight lagi. However, in this area, okay, in this area for the Islamic banking especially, however, in this area, less is able to explore to the majority conventional accounting procedure are not very contradict with the Islamic values. For example, okay, selain daripada gunakan however, kita boleh gunakan for example untuk strengthen kan. The phenomena where the recording and double entry system, balance sheet and income statement will be altered according to Islamic teaching if there are any dispute has been well discussed by Lewis with regard to how social reporting Islamic organizations adapt and modify accounting procedure from their conventional counterparts. Okay, so dia mula cerita selain daripada tadi kan, intro, kemudian firstly, kemudian secondly, kemudian dia bagi however, lepas tu dia tekankan lagi for example. Okay, ini approach yang common yang kita boleh tulis dalam sebuah perenggan dalam literature. Okay, kita pergi yang ke siri yang ke-14. Okay, siri yang ke-14 masuk, tapi topik ni masih sama lagi. Cuma kita tadi yang ke-13, kerana masuk siri yang ke-13, kita sambung saja. Okay, kita pergi yang tesis yang ke-7. Examining the customer selection criteria, satisfaction and loyalty in the Islamic banking industry, comparative study between Malaysia ethnic group. Okay, by Noradillah Abdul Hadi ni. Okay, panjang perenggan dia, cuma kita tengok apa yang kita boleh belajar kat sini sebab ada beberapa perkara yang kita kena lihat dan kita kena belajar bagi teknik menulis. Okay, dia start dengan permulaan ayat. Islamic banking has developed significantly over the last 3 decades and gains interest for Muslim and non-Muslim countries include. Okay, ini nak cerita Islamic banking juga diterima oleh beberapa negara termasuk Muslim dan non-Muslim. So dia kata country including UK, Australia, China, France, Germany, Italy, Jepun, Korea, Luxembourg and Singapore. The increased interest is due to linkage of Islamic banking operation with real economic activity, prohibition of access and speculation, and the key pillar of fairness, transparency and risk sharing. Ini from the Bank Negara. Macam pakcik highlight sebelum ni maklumat ataupun report-report daripada Bank Negara juga kita boleh ambil untuk citation. Some conventional bank are motivated to provide Islamic window to attract wealthy Muslim investor and potentially target those seeking social responsible investment on ethical financial solution. Again, bank negara. Jadi dah 2 kali ni. Ada scholar yang mengatakan not agree macam ni sebab bila ada 2 citation yang terlalu dekat kita panggil single sourcing. Tapi kalau tanya saya, pakcik sedar bahawa dia nak cerita another point. Tapi still in report in bank negara. Through the distinctive features of Islamic banking practice, one of me see the difference between Islamic and modern capitalization. So ada orang kata kita kena tengok juga Islamic practice, one maybe see to difference between Islam and modern capitalization. Dan di highlight, in order to understand, ini kita kena belajar. In order to understand the selection factor predominantly religious factor as part of significant factor in customer solution for Islamic banking, ni pakcik pun belajar ayat ni panjang, betul koma. It is imperative to understand the distinctive elements and principle. Okay. Hence, this chapter focus on Islamic banking literature comprising the meaning of Sharia, maqasid, okay, maqasid Sharia, Islamic banking principle and practice mainly in Malaysia. So dia nak strengthenkan bahawa topik ni akan go through focus kat Islamic banking lah, literature comprise on meaning of Sharia, and then practice ini mainly in Malaysia. Ini maksudnya nak ceritakan, okay, daripada awal Islamic banking ni juga ada pada negara Muslim dengan non-Muslim. So kat Malaysia ni kalau berkaitan Islamic banking, dia punya power dan anything yang related dengan benda baru adalah contribute by bank negara lah. So decision from the bank negara, so dia discuss ada 2 citation from bank negara, kemudian dia highlight dalam kajian ni tertumpu pada dalam konteks literature dalam syariah in Malaysia perspective. Dan tajuk yang ke-8 oleh critical analysis of stakeholder perception of community-based tourism impact in the World Heritage Site. Okay, dari Zara Finas Abdul Hassan. Okay, ada ni perenggan dia terus start dengan however. Jadi kita boleh belajar macam mana dia start. However, satu perenggan kita boleh start dengan however, tak ada masalah. The above mentioned definition in table 2 is need to revision since they fail to give sufficient consideration for community function as culture, revitalization agent, and ignore the possibility that the community is exposed the development process such as modernization, migration and urbanization. Okay, panjang ayat dia. Okay, dalam satu nafas dia nak jumpa satu titik tu. Therefore, dia dah pakai however, dia pakai therefore in this thesis, therefore in this thesis, the definition of CBT has been broadness to include the role of community revitalizing culture and heritage for future generation. As such, okay, kita belajar ni, however, therefore, as such, CBT is considered to be harmonious approach that focus not only the economic condition and welfare of the community at the destination but also on wider environment and culture conservation effort to create sustainable tourism industry. The section that follow critically examine the development CBT. Okay, apa yang pakcik boleh bincang daripada kita nak bedah perenggan ini, dia punya satu ayat tu agak panjang lah. Kalau macam pakcik pun kena belajar banyak lah nak menulis satu perenggan yang panjang ni. Okay, sorry, satu ayat yang panjang ni. Biasa ayat pakcik adalah satu perenggan tu agak pendek. Tapi sometimes we need to learn also how to write in the long sentence, tapi kita akan gunakan comma dan sebagainya. Okay, tajuk yang ke-9 adalah investigation into the effectiveness of practical work in achieve curriculum objective for engineering studies in secondary education by Suhaiza. So dia start dengan ni, dia ada citation. It was mentioned by CLGG, tak tahu nak sebutan takut salah, that a systematic review is the approach to gathering information using consistent technique incorporate finding from with the similar purpose. Okay, ini kalau panel tanya ataupun supervisor kata kenapa nak buat systematic review, so kat sini salah satu yang kita boleh cite lah. So systematic review is the approach of gathering information using consistency technique or incorporating finding with the similar purpose. Okay. The time frame of the previous research is important in systematic review because it ensure the content are relevant to current situation. So di situ juga dari segi assumption of the SLR, systematic review. This study acknowledge that the vastness of previous 10 years research. So dia punya period ni adalah 10 tahun. STEM with research on STEM with regard the practical work in the secondary education only. So they specific on the secondary education. The period of 10 years of suggested of Stephen and Petrie. Okay, so kita nak pilih 10 tahun pun ada justification. So ini justification from the Stephen and Petrie. Is a suitable duration to sustain temporal validity for the finding of most study as science and technology. Temporal validity refer to extend the finding of conclusion of the study is valid about the progression time. The status publication was not a constraint on this study. Okay, the status of publication was not constrained and limited to the research and practical work from the STEM subject in secondary education only. The process provide evidence the ministry about the finding emerged for the study worldwide might suit to effort to enhance the quality STEM education in outline and the blueprint. So kat sini pun menarik juga macam mana dia susun perkaitan topik dia dengan penggunaan systematic review lah. So dia beritahu kenapa nak buat systematic review. So dia kata berapa tahun tempoh. So dia pun cari sumber yang boleh mengatakan by Stephen and Petrie 10. Kenapa kena pakai 10. Okay. Tesis yang ke-10 yang bertajuk Middle Leadership in Malaysia International Secondary School, the intersection of instructional, distribute and teacher leadership. Okay. So yang ni dia kata, okay, ayat dia broadly speaking, kalau ayat macam ni pun saya dah boleh predict lah, ni mesti orang kualitatif ni. Okay, broadly speaking, ada scholar lah, ataupun sedation, Gavi Ferk et al. Claimed a favorable relationship between the HODs and the teachers. However, nampak tak? Banyak dalam literature review ni sebenarnya bukan hanya kita jumpa however di bab 1 di bahagian problem statement mostly. Tapi biasanya dalam literature review pun sebenarnya banyak certain paragraph yang kita gunakan perkataan however. However, there are several issues that affect a relationship. Teachers always take leave, late to the school and try to shirk their responsibility. Due to the time-consuming nature of additional chief, the HOD and this research site express their powerlessness as they are not given autonomy to fire the relay teacher, relying instead on warning. So banyak buka kata dan muka kata di sini. So yang pertama dia start are not given autonomy to hire the related teachers, relying instead on the warning. So ini beberapa scholar yang diambil daripada Gavin Ferk, daripada page 128 sampai 129. Jadi dia cerita dia lah, dia start ayat broadly speaking. So tesis yang ke-11 bertajuk Institutional Environmental, Corporate Governance and Corporate Social Responsibility Disclosure, a Comparative Study in Southeast Asia Country. Okay, dia kata despite the differentiation between CSR reporting and CSRD, this study focus, okay, awal-awal lagi dah cerita pasal limitation kat sini. This study focus solely on the CSRD, which is the extent of CSR information disclosed in annual report. Okay, memang dia akan gunakan annual report. The use of annual report as the sole examine document type for this thesis based on the following reason. Okay, tengok. Dia siap bagi justifikasi kenapa dia pakai annual report. Okay, firstly, annual report have been used extensively as one of key document to examine cooperation, communication in social issue, due their accessibility, credibility and corporateness. Itu one of the reason lah. Yang tu pun ada sumber. The nature of annual report require each company to have one annual report for each year study. It's common lah. Secara konsisten setiap tahun memang dikeluarkan annual report. Beza dia cepat lambat je. Okay. Therefore, the number of data for each company will be equal and consistent for the whole of data. The contrast regarding a non-annual report data, different company will to publish diverse type of document. That is a problem lah dekat Malaysia. Kalau tengok annual report memang presentation dengan information dalam annual report tu susah dapat standards. Okay, as a result, it's not possible to apply the same set of data for all company as doing will to create bias in the sample, reduce the consistency of the result and not ensure the completeness of the data. Biasanya kajian-kajian yang berkaitan secondary data, contoh macam annual report. So the problem and the challenge is macam mana kita nak standardiskan. Sometimes dalam annual report tu ada yang lapor, ada yang tak lapor. So to be nak elakkan bias dan to make it standardized, kita kena tengok apakah data yang suitable berdasarkan beberapa report daripada beberapa company. Okay, tesis yang ke-12 bertajuk Screening Islam, the presentation of the religions and gender in different genres of Islamic film in Malaysia. Okay, this one dia kata, ayat dia kata, another film concern Chinese issue and problem in Malaysia entitled Spinning Gasing. Okay, directed by Tek Tan. Spinning Gasing is about parental conflict and the love affair between the male Chinese protagonist and the Malay girl. He ran into numerous obstacles with authorities, not less because a gay scene in the films. Even though he had tried to tone it down by treating in the two characters humorously. The film was finally allowed to screen after the numerous cuts. A similar fate occurred several films by Yasmin Ahmad, Sepet and Mualaf, as both films were threatened to be banned from the screening by censorship board unless the director agreed to omit two controversial scenes. Sepet specifically need 8 cuts before it could be released in the cinema. Okay, that are the issue lah. So they discuss about the certain film issues in Malaysia. They discuss that from one film to another films that related that the theme from this paragraph. Okay, kemudian kita pergi siri yang ke-15. Kita dah go through siri ke-14, siri 13 dan 14. Kita tengok juga pada siri ke-15. Masih bawah topik yang sama, itu perenggan-perenggan terpilih ataupun perenggan pilihan. Okay, kita pergi yang ke-13. Exploring product development process in Islamic bank with a special reference to Islamic trade finance. Okay, this one ada gambar rajah, tapi sebelum kita pergi gambar rajah murabahah structure tu, ada ayat kat atas tu yang kita boleh ambil pendek perenggannya dan kita boleh belajar juga. It should be noted that the contemporary modes of Islamic finance, murabahah has emerged as the most distinct non-PLS principle of Islamic finance. Tu first statement dia. It has also become a backbone of the contemporary Islamic banking. So ada scholar. Dia jelaskan juga, it has also become the backbone contemporary Islamic banking by Kaf and Khan 1992. Lepas tu dia buat perenggan pendek bawah satu, while further discussion about murabah is made in the next chapter. Dia masuk kurungan section 3.5 related to Islamic trade finance. Figure 2.2 depict a murabah structure. Maksudnya figure 2.2 tu bawah tu. So dia letak gambar kat bawah tu lah daripada Wilson 2009. So ada vendor, bank and customer. So how the supply chain process tu, dekat vendor dia pergi bank, dia pakai initial transfer to the title. Kemudian bank to customer, dia financial transfer. Then customer back to bank, defer payment and markup. And then bank to vendor, we call that payment. So the process from the vendor go through bank customer, then customer back to bank and customer vendor again. Okay. Okay, tajuk yang ke-14, Hafizan Maksum, tajuk dia investigation of the portfolio, e-portfolio implementation, the Malaysia Skill Training Programs. So yang ni pun ada gambar rajah. Sebelum tunjuk gambar rajah tu ada ayat kat atas. Minta maaf kecil sikit tulisan dia. Conclusion that summarize the finding from literature review is provided. The information in the literature has been very beneficial as a guide to develop this research in order to meet the objective and goal to achieve. So kat sini dia macam benda betul dan sometimes kita kena buat benda yang sama. Kita nak beritahu apa saja yang kita bincangkan dalam literature review ni beneficial, faedahnya dia adalah in order to meet ataupun nak to be aligned, to be solved from ataupun the objective goal to be achieved. The structure of the literature review have been mapped and showed in figure 2.1. Okay, menarik juga kan. Biasa chapter 3 kita ada buat macam research design, research flow. Tapi sebenarnya bab 2 sendiri pun kita boleh buat satu structure of literature review. Jadi masa buku surat awal-awal ni 2.1 kita dah dapat apa structure atau outline yang ada dalam bab 2. So dalam gambar raja ni saya minat untuk share, saya sebut the structure of literature review. Dia start dengan literature review. So ada kiri dan kanan. Dia start yang belah kanan tu online learning in Tibet dengan e-portfolio application in Malaysia Global. Okay, one side. Another side discuss with Malaysia. Discuss about Malaysia Vocational Education Training Background and Malaysia Skill Training Certificate Program. So once kita explain regarding on the Malaysia structure or Malaysia background, so yang satu lagi kita cerita pasal online lah, online learning dengan e-portfolio. Okay, both of this dia akan masukkan dalam COP Experiential Learning Theory and CBT concept. Then forward to the e-portfolio MSTP. So dekat e-portfolio in MCTP ni, so kita ada rationale and justification and key indication. So this part also ada juga link by Mahara application. Semua benda ni akan menjawab kita punya atau memberikan maklumat yang lengkap atau yang baik bagi kita menjawab kita punya objektif kajian. Tajuk yang ke-15, a landscape political ecology and swift-led farming in Malaysia cities. Okay, ada satu perenggan yang panjang kat sini. Dia start the crucial issues. Ni ayat tu yang nak pakai tu. The crucial issues is not just a blurring boundaries between nature and society, but rather taking responsibility from how social intervention in nature take place with the consequent and far-world benefits. So ada beberapa scholar. Okay. In this regard, ini kita kena belajar. In this regard, Tonahi, ini scholar tu lah, has not that some urban agriculture project are playing, ni dia buka kata, playing with the urban form, challenge current land use management and reinvesting the urban landscape. So tutup kata. Her paper merujuk paper Tonagi lah. Her paper, ni nak kena him, her kena check dulu lah dia jantina macam ni. Her paper does examine the role that the urban agriculture practice play the reproduction capitalism, urban metabolic process and the discursive political and physical production in new social environmental conditions. However, daripada dia explain, kemudian in this regard, dan go through pula however, her approach differ from the taken up here in the she view this change as potentially positive measure by which urban agriculture project can reshape current urban space and create new form of urban common. Okay, rather I aim to consider, ni kualitatif lah, kena terang guna ganti nama kan. Rather, I aim to consider the potential negative implication in urban farm by examining how its challenge accepted use of the urban space. So, to be considered from this literature based on the crucial issues, based on the previous study by Tonahi. So, apa penemuan dia dapat, kita conclude that I aim to be considered potential negative implication. So dia nak study pasal the urban farming, nak tengok pada how its challenge accepted use the urban space. Okay, tajuk yang ke-16, bawah Mirza Muhammad, import tax compliance, a study of the customer agent in Malaysia utilizing the theory of planned behavior. Okay, so dia bawah topik besar 2.2 dia, compliance with the import payment procedure. So they explain compliance with the custom import payment procedure is a complex and require familiarities with various requirements which are technical in nature. This include tariff classification, valuation and origin rule as well as custom facilitations. This is not including the step involved in the process of clearance of goods which involve many agencies at the border such as a port operator, port authority, custom health department, agriculture department and custom agent and the intermediaries between import and border agency. So dia banyak bagi dia punya such as example kan, berkaitan dengan konteks on the custom facilitation tu. The reminder of, ini ayat kita boleh ambil ni. This reminder of this section discuss and come, dia ada dua perkara The reminder of this section discuss and custom compliance procedure and the importance of the intermediaries such as custom agent in assisting their client in meeting the compliance requirement of various agency including custom. Itu dia cerita pasal topik compliance lah, regarding on the procedure, relate on the customer facilitation, customer agent. So that's why they highlight that kenapa kita ada kena buat compliance requirement. Okay, that relate on the procedure. Okay, yang ke-17. Okay, the performance of the Malaysia Islamic banking industry and the impact of the foreign Islamic bank. Okay, as a summary. Ni contoh. As a summary, ni biasanya as a summary biasanya dalam mana-mana section yang terakhir lah. Based on literature review above, the study employed, maksudnya dia kaitkan summary based on the literature yang dibincangkan di atas. The study employed profitability and efficiency in measuring performance Islamic bank in Malaysia. Saya suka ayat ni, straightforward. Okay. The dimension of efficiency in this study focus on Islamic bank efficiency and produce a maximum output from minimum quantity of inputs. Okay, sedap ayat ni. The performance measurement are important to the study as linkage the nature of competition in the country, which is very much significant to the study. Mungkin kat sini lah ada setengah scholar tak suka gunakan perkataan is very much significant. Mungkin cakap is much significant, tak ada perkataan very itulah. Tapi okey lah, dia dah grad dah, mungkin SYZ pun okey. The performance measurement method was chosen due to the relevant and wide employment in measuring performance of bank all over the world. The method and technique in measuring the bank performance will be discussed in the next section. Jadi macam mana dalam satu section yang terakhir dia discuss regarding on the what is defined from the literature lah. So dalam case ni cerita pasal Islamic bank efficiency in Malaysia. Okay, itu saja 17 tesis yang kita tengok beberapa perenggan pilihan. Pada pandangan Pak Cik memang sangat penting kita melihat satu perenggan ke satu perenggan kita belajar. Kita tak boleh belajar dan dapat semua benda dalam satu hari. Okay, that's why kita kena belajar. Tulis pun Pak Cik advise tulis satu hari satu perenggan saja. Jadi kat sini macam mana you all boleh belajar daripada slide ni. Okay, Pak Cik sendiri honest untuk slide ni berapa kali dah Pak Cik deliver beberapa kelas. Once bila tengok first time nampak ni, second time nampak yang ni pula. Makin lama makin kita dapat belajar lah. Okay, saya harap you all pun dapat belajar juga bagaimana dalam belajar untuk menulis satu perenggan sehari. Jadi kita kena menulis satu perenggan satu hari. Ini disrutin lah. Kalau 3 tahun, 2 tahun kita tak menulis satu perenggan, jadi kita kena tengok bagaimana orang tulis satu perenggan. Okay, lagi sekali Pak Cik mohon maaf, banyak sebutan Pak Cik tadi unclear, tak berapa tepat bacaan ni. Pak Cik mohon maaf atas kekurangan. Okay, Pak Cik doakan semoga semua peroleh manfaat dan dipermudahkan dalam memahami dan menulis tesis dan segala urusan. Okey, terima kasih. Kita jumpa lagi untuk next session video. Semoga you all semua konsisten lah sebab yang nak belajar ni kena konsisten. You all kena konsisten, Pak Cik pun kena konsisten. Okey, kita jumpa lagi. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum dan selamat malam.